we wanted or needed.
Okay.
And so we moved around a lot.
Did your mother
out of
believe
situations
in
because
whooping
of
that behind?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So when y'all got out of line,
We got our ass beat.
okay.
So
I was wondering about that. I was like, nah, I don't hear no ass whooping here.
Yeah,
Wait a
no.
minute.
She's
okay.
my mom's from Brazil. She's very
Your mother is
hands-on.
from
She's from Brazil. She's from
Brazil. Okay, so your
Bahia,
mother is Brazilian.
Yes.
Okay.
So she had a certain
And your
set of
dad
beliefs.
is also Brazilian?
No, he's just country.
Okay.
It's my daddy.
Okay.
He's
so your
from
dad
Georgia
is black,
too. Mm-hmm.
and your mother's Brazilian.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But we grew up black.
Okay.
We were black.
No Spanish.
She spoke Portuguese, but she didn't teach us Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
She spoke
She didn't-
Portuguese when she didn't want us to know what she was saying. Like if she's talking to her siblings, she would speak Portuguese, and
And then
just
you guys
knew.
were like,
Yeah, because she'd be like, the kids are in the, and then she'd start speaking Portuguese. She'd say certain things when she was mad, but you know.
Well, okay, but she didn't teach you guys.
No,
Okay.
we spoke English.
Okay.
She really left Brazil in like a bad state, and she didn't want.
How old was she when she left Brazil?
She was 14. She was 14 when she left, and she had a child there, and that's what sent her here. And so I don't.
Which is your sister?
No, I don't know him.
Oh.
I don't know him. I just know those were the circumstances of why she got
Which is
sent
why.
here.
Okay. They made her leave.
Yes, I think it was more out of protection, not out of something that she did wrong, but it was more out of protection.
Oh, okay.
And so when she came here, she was just very, she was in the projects in Atlanta, and, you know, she had 13 siblings.
Oh, wow.
She was 13. She was one, she
So
12.
she was the
She had
baby.
12 other. No, my mom was maybe the fourth in the row.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And
Big
so,
family.
they all didn't come at
in
the same
relation,
time.
Are you in contact with any
Yes.
of your mother's family?
We
And are
got
they
back
in
into
Brazil,
contact.
Or
Some of them are in Brazil. I only communicate with them through email, but the ones that are here, I just got back into contact with because we had a big argument around my mom's death, and so I was protecting my dad and decided to stop talking to them.
okay.
So that's how I lost contact with them. But recently got back involved, probably in the
good.
last 3 years. Yeah,
I think
last
that's
3 years.
important. You know, family is everything. You know.
They are.
Yeah.
It
So,
is-
so explain. I want to go back to at that time when, after your mother passed, what happened with you after that? So your mother passed, and then what happened with you?
I pretty much stopped caring about everything. Stopped going to school. Stopped doing homework. Made straight F's. Didn't care about anything. And yeah. And my dad was still a truck driver, so he wasn't home except for
So
Saturday
who was
night.
home?
My sister, who never liked me growing up, so I wasn't really at home. I left home.
And she was there.
She was there.
So you guys weren't close at all.
She was always the opposite of me, and my mom was really rough. I can't say my mom was an angel, but I just accepted certain things that she did, and my sister had always had a tough time because my mom and my sister are a lot alike. They're both really strong-minded, and
So was she just trying to, at this point in your life now, if you look back now, do you think that she was just trying to help and
Who, my
trying
sister?
to get you back into going to school? And I mean, what was
Who,
the
my sister?
relationship like when your mom passed? What was you and your sister's? Yes, exactly, your sister. What was that relationship like when your mom
growing
passed?
up, we didn't have a good relationship because my mom and my sister had a horrible relationship, and me and my mom had a wonderful relationship.
Okay.
So it was always that tension between my sister and I. My sister and my mom were extremely physical with each other.
Wow.
And my mom would get
Why is
physical
that?
with me. If we did something, you know, I guess normal people, like, you know, you get a spanking or something like that. Sometimes we would, you know, ass beat.
Yeah.
And I more so would be like, I would accept, you know, what I did in the repercussions. And my sister was a fighter. and so she would always fight back, and so it ended up being like one-on-one combat is what it looked like.
Okay.
And so I mean, it would just get intense,
and
more
that's the way
intense,
your
more
sister
intense,
was
more intense. Yes,
all the time.
that's how
Just
she
her
was
personality,
all the
just-
way. All the way. She was never really wanting to do anything in school. She never really wanted to go to school. That was just her.
So that was even
grew up
before
in the
your mother
same
passed.
home. Yeah, that
She
was
never
before my mom.
wanted to. Okay.
We grew up in the same home.
What was
but
it
we were
after
so
your mother
opposite.
passed? What was the relationship then, and how did that affect your sister?
We didn't really have one because I didn't stay in there. I didn't stay at home.
Okay.
I left. I had a boyfriend at the time, and his family was so awesome. I would actually leave and spend the majority of my time there, and then when I came home, it was to like sleep and get ready to go to school. And he'd pick me up when we go to school, and then wouldn't really stay. But you know, I have to say he was one of the main reasons that really helped me in the beginning of my mom's death. And then as I started to come into my own, I guess, get a little bit. Remember when I said like my mom left me with something? I feel it literally happened when she died. I became more like, I wasn't as vulnerable and I needed these things, like, I don't know, like affection. Everybody needs affection. I'm not saying I don't need affection.
Right.
I'm saying I didn't need certain things, and once my boyfriend at the time felt like, you know, he wasn't needed or I changed, you know, that's when that shifted.
Okay. So what happened after that? So after you graduated, because you graduated.
Well, what happened as far as sophomore year,
okay,
you know, I failed everything.
Because this is when your mom passed.
That's when she passed away. I failed everything.
Okay.
My teachers all came together. Coach McRae, I don't know if you can say names. My coach at the time, my teacher, my biology
I don't think anybody's
teacher.
gonna look them up.
My biology teacher at the time
Okay.
at the high school I went to was like, we know this is completely not you. My math
because
teacher,
you had been making straight A's
absolutely.
before
My
that,
math
so
teacher
they
came
knew.
and he was like, you went from making 98s on a test, 99s, 100s, never even, like, I would skip. It was like you'd skip and then come on test day and make 100. He was like, what's going on? Like, he already knew what was going on, but he was like, this is what we're going to do
at
for
this
you.
point, you just didn't care.
No.
You just,
And this is what they did for me.
okay.
They said, whatever grade you make on your final will be your overall grade for the entire year. But you can't come back next year. You need to go back to McKee, go back to another high school that I went my freshman year, where it was just a different. It's a difference there. It's very education driven, very college driven, and they knew I came from that because we moved around a lot because of, you know, my mom and dad and, you know, certain things. So we moved around a lot, and we just ended up, at that time, I was in an area that wasn't the greatest school system, and they knew where I came from. So they said, you can make these grades, and this be what you make at the end of the year for the whole year, but you can't come back next year. And I took him up on that. And I made 98. I made straight A's. My 10th grade year looks
Did
like
you
I
not
made.
want to come back there anyhow?
I didn't think I needed to come. I didn't need to be there because I was never going to go to college if I stayed there. And it's not set up in that. It's not an environment for somebody who wants to go to college.
Really?
I can do my homework. I show up at class. People are like, I didn't do mine. Da da da. This and that. They yell at the teacher, and the teacher's like, just forget it. We won't do it. So I'm like, well, why am I going to do my homework? So I stopped. And in the middle of like situations where if I didn't want to be there, I'd open the window and leave. And then teachers are like, what are you doing? Come back, sit down. I'm like, no, you're not going to do anything. I'm gone. So I jump out the window, have somebody already parked and to turn around waiting on me, and then I dip. And it was like, it was normal there.
Wow.
That's what became normal there. And I knew I needed to get out of that school.
Okay.
And so
you went to, so the school that you went to
9th grade year
was better than...
Oh, it was way better.
What kind of school was that?
It used to be an all-girls school. It used to be an all-girls college, and then it turned into a public high school. It was huge. I probably had about 1,100 people in my class. Graduated top. I think it was number 14 out of my class, number 16 out of my class. But it was because the way that they structure themselves, everything is about excelling. Everything's about your future. Like, it's not just, okay, this test is on this date, let's make it here. It was like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna, major in college? Everything was college driven in that school. Very wonderful school.
Okay. So this kind of got you back on.
Yes. So 11th grade year, I went back, and I think it was 11th grade year. I'm not sure if I left at the very end of my 10th grade. It was 11th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I went back 11th grade year, and that's when everything got a little bit better. But my boyfriend at the time, who was still at my old school, didn't like those changes. And
How so?
I didn't quite need him as much. He was no longer picking me up to go to school. I no longer was like
How come
going
you
to his
didn't need
parents'
the
house
ride?
all the time.
Because
I got a car.
Okay.
It was never that I needed a ride.
Were you
I
working?
had my own car.
How did you get the car?
I had saved up money, and then my dad helped me purchase my rodeo.
Okay.
And so that was my first car with two 12s in the back.
Go ahead, girl. You noticed how she had to say what the 2 12s in the back. She wanted to make sure we knew that.
But
that's important. That's that first ride. She had some. Now that was a whip. You had a rodeo as your first car. Damn, that was nice.
And
wow.
then when I needed,
and how did your boyfriend feel at the time?
He was fine with that. He was cool. Whatever. He was fine with that.
Because he still went to the other school.
He did, but my school was an hour and a half away, so that meant hour and a half away in the morning, and then after I got out of school. And so I would miss his baseball practice. And
normally
I would be at his baseball practice. We were literally like, at 16, it was like, what are we eating for dinner? Like,
they're together.
I was there
the time.
way too much. Way too much. And so that kind of stopped. And I kind of do my own thing. I was like college bound. I was doing this activity. I was doing that activity. I never really hung out with high school people besides my best friend.
Okay.
We used to live across the street from the high school. She still does, but we used to live across
the same high school.
Yeah, the same. No, the high school that I went to 9th grade and then went back to my 11th grade year. We both used to stay in the neighborhood across the street from the school. Her parents still do.
Wow.
And so we used to walk to school. Because there was no bus that would come there because it was across the street.
Yeah.
And so, so I would just hang out with her, and then we would go down to Georgia State University and hang out. And then we would just meet other people, and we just hang out. We never really hung out with, like, high school kids.
Do you think that...
Well, we had high school friends.
Did that
we
influence
literally
you to want to go to college?
No, I always knew I needed to go to college. That was the requirement from kindergarten up. Like, okay. I was told I was I wanted to go to Tuskegee in like first grade. I wanted to go to Tuskegee. And that changed. Then it turned to like Spelman. Then I realized I didn't want to go to Spelman. Mm-hmm. And Georgia State just happened because my number one school didn't give me a full scholarship, only a partial scholarship. And I didn't feel I needed to take out loans being in Georgia, getting Hope Scholarship where I could go for free for 4 years.
So did you get a full scholarship?
Yes, all throughout.
From?
Hope Scholarship for making, my GPA was like a 3.8 throughout college. And so that was how I was able to stay without having to pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after you graduated from high school,
mm-hmm.
Where did you stay? Were you still in your dad's house?
Yeah, I was always my dad's house was always there. He was only there 2 days a week though. So It was like I went home because my things were there and I showered and stuff there. Okay. But I was always someplace else. It didn't really matter. I was someplace else.
So then you started college.
Mm-hmm.
So you stayed in the dorms?
I did my freshman year.
And you said you went to
Georgia State University.
Georgia State. So let's give a shout out for Georgia State.
Man, that's the best school. Yes,
for educating this brilliant
dentist here,
Dr. MacD. Yes.
I did amazing things there. Amazing research.
Okay, so
met amazing people.
So freshman year.
Freshman year.
How did you do in freshman year?
Freshman year was great.
Got to freshman year, how did you feel?
Well, let's start with that's a funny story you say.
Yeah.
So we're all moving into the dorms that weekend. We're all good. You know, dorms you had, it was like roommate style. 2 on one side, 2 on the other, 2 different bathrooms. And so, you know, I'm getting to know everybody. I never really, I never was involved in the high school drama. Like, I've never been associated with, like, the guy drama or, like, you know, just the female drama that exists in high school. Yes, it was.